So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Spotify.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Eric.
I'm Katie.
I'm Leanne.
And we got Jorge, no Sean today.
Yeah. Sean's on vacay, so wish him well. He deserves,
R&R.
some time. Yeah, some R&R.
Yeah.
Some relaxation on a farm. So we love you, buddy, and we're going to do this episode without him today. But it's okay because we got 2 hot-ass women here with us.
Yep.
And
Let's do it.
So this is the rise and possible fall.
Inevitable.
Of Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this is all happening right now. This is all unfolding in front of our eyes. So we don't, this data could be, you know what I mean? Like we might
do an update episode on you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So tomorrow, new info could come out, and we don't even freaking know. You know what I mean? Like So you got to take it with what's happening now.
I feel like this has to be a part 1.
Yeah, I think this might be a part 1.
That's a good one.
We're
going to do part 1.
You have to finish the trial.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So consider this the rise and or possible fall or rise again of Diddy part 1. Yeah. You know him as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, but behind the music, the fashion, the billion-dollar parties, darker allegations have emerged, and the entertainment world is watching. And so today is the untold story of P. Diddy in the trial and the accusations. Okay. So have you guys been following this?
Not really, to be honest.
Really? It's kind of the biggest thing around, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Jorge's...
You know why I haven't followed it?
I've been following it.
You've been following it?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm just like, he's guilty. Fuck it. I'm just waiting for the for the verdict now.
So you just think he's guilty by what? By media?
Exactly. By this conspiracy podcast that I listen to.
I know, right?
I mean, I go very deep. And when this came out...
Were you surprised?
I was surprised that they actually made the allegations and arrested him, yes.
Okay,
that part I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was not surprised that...
About the free cops?
No.
About the whole thing?
No, yeah, no.
You weren't surprised? Okay.
I was kind of surprised about the free cops. Like, some info that's come out, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, some dark shit.
Yeah. And we do a disclaimer at the beginning, but we're going to go into some of the stuff. And so...
Please, no
maybe
children.
Earmuffs?
Yes.
Yeah, earmuffs on this thing. So, all right. So, and then out the gate, before we even go over the story, do you have opinions on it? Like, do you have?
I just told you mine.
I know. Jorge's always like.
I'll tell you my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this goes very deep.
Okay.
I think a lot of celebrities are probably shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
Epstein.
that's what they said about Epstein.
But Epstein level? That's what I was going to say. Epstein level of shaking in the boots? Crazy, right? It's crazy that it's happening at the same time. Kind of. Not the same time, but...
Epstein is so disappointing, though, because
I
they've never
know.
released anything, and he was killed in maximum security prison, which is just...
Killed-
not
well,
even
same-
well,
started.
ended himself.
Right, like, but yeah. So
But this is the same thing because there's going to be so many people that need to be protected, and so nothing's going to come out.
But, like, why? Why?
Well,
are they
because a lot of them
protected?
were underage.
Yeah.
Okay, but these celebrities,
Same
like...
with the-
No, I'm talking about the victim.
The victim's fine, but the celebrities is what I want to see them go down.
Ah, I see.
Well, they would need to have their own trial, I think.
I'm just
Well,
waiting
why are
for
you
them
throwing
all
out
to be...
Ashton Kutcher already?
So, okay.
Isn't
Wow,
he?
whoa,
Isn't he?
whoa,
a,
whoa.
Wait, isn't he a vocal, like a voice for
He is.
trafficking?
That's the conspiracy about all this.
He is.
Is that he was trying to make up for it?
Kind of like hiding behind it, right?
But maybe he was trying to make up for his
I really liked
for sins
him.
of the past.
Yeah.
I really liked him, and I'm not claiming anything because I don't know. But I've been following this on TikTok, and there are a lot of accusations against him that he was one of the people involved.
Because there's even videos of him there
Correct.
at many of the parties.
Correct. So that's my thing. How
Yeah.
do you go to these parties? Okay, at this point, we know enough that these things were happening, at least to a certain degree.
Yeah.
How do these people not know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to kind of like go off of what you're saying of like celebrities are probably shaking in their boots because they could, it's a reputation thing as
Mm-hmm.
well. There could be testimony that they saw, you know, Kim Kardashian in the room
Kevin
while
Spacey.
something was going on,
Yeah.
or, you know.
Yeah.
And P.S.
And
maybe
it's
they
not
didn't do
good.
things, but were they? Did they have
complacent?
knowledge and they were complacent? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow, you guys are hot at the beginning. All right. All right. Let's go through the story.
Okay.
And then we'll see if you're hotter or, a little
Colder.
bit more like, yeah. Okay. So as we do on this show, let's start from the beginning a little bit. November 4th, 1969 in Harlem. Sean John, I don't know if you know that, but his name is Sean John Combs.
Like the brand, Sean John.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was born into tragedy. His father, Melvin, was an associate of a notorious drug dealer, Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas was portrayed
Really?
by Denzel Washington in the gangster movie,
Yeah, he was a
American
famous-
Gangster.
Famous
Yeah.
gangster.
Yeah.
In,
He was one
it
of the,
Harlem?
Yeah,
Or-
Harlem,
yeah.
and he was one of the biggest black coke gangsters or drug gangsters of that time period.
Great movie.
So he was an
American
associate.
Gangster.
It was a
It
great
is good.
movie. Yeah. He was an associate of Frank Lucas. Melvin was murdered when Sean was 2.
All right.
Raised by his mother, Janice, in Mount Vernon, Sean grew up surrounded by ambition, hustle, and a deep understanding of how power worked, but also on the streets. By the late 80s, Sean was interning at a place called Uptown Records. Quickly rising through the ranks, he helped shape the careers of artists like Mary J. Blige, Joe Desi. I don't know that one.
Jodeci.
Jodeci, is that how you say it? I don't know that one. Yeah. Jodeci. Joe Desi.
Joe Desi.
Joe Desi.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron. But his ambition was bigger than just Uptown. In 93, at 24 years old, he founded Bad Boys. He signed an unknown rapper by the name of Christopher Wallace.
Big Papa.
Notorious B.I.G. Bad Boy blew up. B.I.G. became a cultural force. Combs, his own debut album, No Way Out, dropped in 97, sold 7 million copies in the U.S. alone. The single I'll Be Missing You, which was a tribute to Biggie after he was killed, made history as the first hip-hop song to debut at the #1 on the top 100.
Wow.
Still one of my faves.
I
love that
I
song.
mean,
One of
It's
my
a
faves.
fantastic
Yes.
song.
Cry.
and-
Not anymore.
I cry every
and
time.
I know
Yeah.
it does make me feel weird now,
I
doesn't
can't.
it? I know.
I
I
can't.
loved it then.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, yeah.
Yeah, but now you understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
We were kids.
Also,
Like,
a little anecdote that because it was a Sting song, it was a police song, right?
Yeah.
And he has to pay Sting $5,000 a day
No way.
to this
Yes.
day.
what do I have to do?
Yeah.
to this day for the use of the remix or the track to do it. But he's making more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's
Still now he's making more. You think?
Yeah, probably.
No way.
Probably millions a year. I don't know what the math is there, but so he pays him 60 grand. No, he pays him 1 million a year.
Maybe 1 million
a year.
Crazy. I don't know the math, but you know. Anyways,
all we have to do is write a hit song, like a fantastic
easy, right?
song.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Anyways, now somebody can fact check us because that was definitely a TikTok data that I got. Yeah, a little.
No, I think I
heard that too.
something.
I have heard that too.
Yeah. All right. He became the master of reinvention, and the idea would be that you would take hit tracks and then remix them for hip hop or rap. Yeah.
He also had another good rapper, Mace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Mace.
And there's a whole conspiracy about that, like how he kept him down and yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get into that or
we're gonna get into that.
Not really. Well, I mean, we're not doing the full history because we also even did it in the Biggie episode.
That's true.
We did a Biggie episode and we did a lot of the songs leading up to it. But what's wild is I heard, this is another like grapevine rumor thing. I heard that Mace quit rapping.
Yeah.
And became like a priest.
100%.
He did.
And he was just like, I'm out.
Yep. Yeah. Preacher.
At the top. Like he was at the top of the game too.
But here's why it's important.
Yeah.
With this new info. Why?
It's true.
Well, he did an interview and he said why. Yeah. And he was talking about how basically P. Diddy was kind of like running this game on him, like you're nothing without me, and he wouldn't let him leave. He wouldn't let him he wouldn't even let him make more new music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's complete control.
Control.
This reminds me of Suge Knight.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And Tupac, right? Like anyways. Yeah. So and now if you go back and just you remember, I mean, we're all of the age. I don't know about all of our listeners, but most of our ages here, we were like in our late teens, early 20s, late teens in this time period, right? And I mean,
me.
not her. Yeah, she was like 10. But when this song came out, like "I'll Be Missing You," and in tribute to his friend, and he was doing hip hop, he had a really
97, I think.
Yeah, it was 97.
Yeah.
I
was 10.
Yeah, 97. Yeah, around 97. Yeah. But his image was really good.
Oh, yeah.
He had a great image at that moment, right? So it was about charisma, and he became known as the party host, right? And red carpets, knowing all the celebs. He was the guy. It was like you go to a Diddy party, you go to a white, he would have these famous parties where you would all dress in white.
Is he the one that started that white party?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, supposedly, industry insiders whispered about a controlling behavior with the music, with Mace, etc., with his relationships.
Yeah, with the women.
With the women, etc. And here's one detail that we don't I didn't know this. In the early 2000s, multiple Bad Boy employees were required to sign NDAs, but not about business, about what they saw.
Isn't that common though? If you're a celebrity, like
Yes.
if I'm a celebrity and I have a nanny, I don't want you going out and saying every time
So, but at what point would you have them sign an NDA if something bad happened?
When you hire them.
I would assume now, like I bet you the Kardashians all have their people sign NDAs on hire.
No, I know, but when do you get to that point? Like if I have
if you're big enough?
like when we hit like 1 million downloads, you guys are all signing NDAs.
No, we're past that. What are you talking about?
I mean, 2 million.
Oh, like a month. Yeah. A month. No, but I mean, like, when do you go? You know what? Let's get some NDAs.
When you're rich enough to have a lawyer who tells you
to
probably,
do it.
You know,
if you have the money and you don't want your
I was just wondering,
shit exposed.
I was wondering when the threshold is. Like
how
one
rich
day
and
you
famous
wake
do you
up
have to
and you
be?
go, "Hey, let's have the maid sign an NDA." You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when you get like recognized on the street for the conspiracy podcast.
I think
That's
there has
probably
to
the
be a
one
level
time.
of
I
like,
feel
okay,
like
I'm at a
we
certain
should be
status.
starting NDAs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
We could do that.
My kids are definitely going to sign that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Poor Sean. See him texting.
Nobody
What did he say?
I'm sitting in the dark. I'm going to keep this on air. Too. Combs was famous for elaborate parties, often with hidden VIP rooms. One LA mansion he owned was rumored to contain a so-called black room, and it was a private chamber used for after-hours sex parties. Staffers mentioned it in off-the-record interviews going back to 2010. His relationship with Jennifer Lopez in the late 90s also drew media attention after a notorious 1999 nightclub shooting. Combs was arrested, but then acquitted. But again, it kind of denotes him always being into fucking chaos.
Yeah, but he did, literally, he did that.
Right?
He shot a girl in the face. She's
in
alive.
the nightclub, right?
In the nightclub.
Yeah.
He shot into the crowd.
And hit a girl.
And there's multiple
How did he get acquitted?
witnesses.
Because he's fucking famous.
Because
and these guys
he
get away
probably
with...
had a judge in his pocket or
He
something.
paid off, or
he paid somebody.
You know what
off.
it is, which we're probably going to get into, but he had videos of everybody in his house.
Yeah,
100%.
That's blackmail all the way.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right. Are you going to get into the cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then came his relationship with Cassie Ventura, starting in 2007, a decade-long partnership that would be later at the center of the current legal downfall.
That's basically what started it all.
Yeah. And this is the girl that was videoed, right? So it all broke open in November of 2023. Cassie Ventura filed a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. The allegations over a decade of abuse, rape, beating, forced participation in sex acts, drugging, freak-offs, and she described these parties where she was allegedly forced to perform sex acts with male prostitutes while Diddy watched them and then recorded them on video. The term freak-off, insiders say, Combs himself coined in the late 2000s, and originally it was a joke among friends, but behind closed doors, the practice grew darker and the term just kind of stuck. One key incident in 2016 was supported by leaked camera footage. That footage, sources say, had been buried by hotel management for years until it was leaked 7 years later in what was called by Combs' team as a money grab. But the CCTV footage was leaked, and I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes,
but I've seen it. It's fucking gnarly.
It's horrible.
So it was hidden or suppressed or whatever because he paid off, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But
he
then
paid off the
But
security.
then allegedly he says that they were trying to get money and they leaked it, even though it was a private video or whatever. That's what, they're just, anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have not seen the video, just to save you, if you don't necessarily have to go watch it, but it's a hallway of a hotel, and a woman is coming out of the hotel and she looks disheveled.
It's Cassie.
It's Cassie, and she's running down the hallway, and then right behind her is P. Diddy in a towel, running after her, grabbing her head, and then throwing her on the ground into the lobby or into where the elevator waiting area is, and then kicking her, and then trying to grab a bag because he said that she was stealing a bag of his.
She was trying to escape.
And she was just trying to escape. Yeah. And so then he just starts kicking her and then grabbing her, and then he drags her back into the hotel room.
It's sick that nobody did anything.
Yeah.
I know.
Especially at that time, because this is 7 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or 7 years from when it was released.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was obviously buried. And it's obviously an assault on a woman. Yeah. Right? Regardless
very
of,
obvious.
even if there was money, let's just say it was actual money, like in the bag.
Who cares?
And it was like, whatever. Right? Like maybe you could justify saying, hey, somebody's
she's
stealing my gold or whatever, and you're trying to like whatever. But still, he is physically accosting her. And worst case out of this entire scenario, he should be charged with assault.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we kind of like on that? We all agree
Yeah,
with
but
that?
one of the reasons, probably we'll get into it, I don't know, but like one of the reasons it takes so long from those 7 years is the FBI has to collect enough data to bring this case that they're now trying him for.
And maybe they stumbled upon more, and they were like, we don't want to just get him for aggravated assault. Or no, aggravated is with the weapon, right?
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
So it would just be assault.
Yeah.
And what do you get for assault?
Domestic violence.
Yeah,
or
what do you get
something.
for assault?
Nothing.
6 months?
Like
Yeah.
nothing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And if you're
that,
P. Diddy, you probably get nothing. You just get maybe some community service and you pay.
He
him.
shot a girl in the face.
And he got acquitted. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. But within days, the case was settled for a reported $20 million. The goal was to quiet the story, but instead it ignited a firestorm of further accusations. After Cassie's lawsuit, more accusers stepped forward and fast. November 23rd, Joy Dickerson Neal filed suit alleging Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her in 91. That same day, Liza Gardner sued alleged assault by Combs and Aaron Hall in 1990. December 6th, a woman identified as Jane Doe alleged she was drugged and gang raped by Combs and others when she was 17 in 2003. More followed, and he continued to get more and more people just coming forward and doing lawsuits. Former producer Rodney Jones filed suit in February of 2024, alleging sexual assault and describing his inner circle as a criminal enterprise that had illegal firearms, drugs, sex trafficking, etc.
So this was Rodney, you said? So because that was
Rodney.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like a bunch of guys also came out.
I
and
know.
were like, we were drugged too. And fucking
dude, it's like everybody's
raped.
drugged.
It's crazy.
So then April Lampros filed her suit citing battery and emotional distress over years. By October, so less than a year since this original one came out, by October, 120 lawsuits.
Wow.
Damn.
That's a lot.
So are 120 people lying?
Exactly. No.
25 were minors.
This episode is brought to you by Pluto TV. Summer of cinema is here, and Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Beverly Hills Cop, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Good Burger, Stealth, Four Brothers, and Star Trek. Bring the action with you and stream for free on all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never. Stream now at Pluto.tv.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
That's disgusting.
There's probably so many more.
So
many more that just don't want to come forward.
These are people who actually took the time to get a lawyer and,
Or even
and do
people
the
that
whole.
were drugged and don't even remember it.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, honestly.
I mean, if you were like gang raped, you probably would remember.
That's true.
Ugh,
But
so
but
nasty.
you have to also be willing for your, like, maybe some people don't want to relive it. They feel like they've moved on. Maybe they don't want their name dragged. Like, maybe their current husband doesn't know, and they're like, I don't even.
Yeah, think about it. Like 10
Or their
years
kids.
ago.
Right, your kids. Like, I'm sure there's more.
I'm sure there's more too.
There's got to be more. And there's probably people also that are like, well, there's enough people that have come out, and I don't need to do that.
Maybe scared.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. Like, just
for
because
sure.
there's a lot of people, I think I would be scared. Like, Sean or P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever, is very powerful. I would be scared he'd like
Come after you.
kill me.
Yeah.
Plus, we have a few instances or people that we think that he had something to do with that are now dead.
Correct.
I mean, you got
absolutely
even Biggie. We kind of got into that in the Biggie episode.
Also, and maybe not even through like straight murder, but if you abuse somebody enough and then they
take their life.
And or they go down the path of drugs and then they succumb to a dark spiral and then you know what I mean?
Correct.
God knows how many of those are.
Or you get them addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll go over it a little bit later, but there's, an example that I see that's visually that you can see is Bieber.
I know. I
You know, he didn't kill or kill himself or any of that stuff, but he does look like he was very much affected by that time.
Do you,
You know?
subscribe or have you looked into the theory behind Bieber's Yummy video?
No.
Okay, well,
Tell us.
You
I haven't looked
either?
at this.
Okay, so
No, I haven't
Justin
looked at this,
Bieber's
no.
yummy video.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe this at first. I'm like, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He does not call out. Nobody calls out P. Diddy.
Yeah.
But the yummy video, you'd have to see it, but it's Justin in this room of elites, and they're all gorging on like food and sort of like watching performers. And there is, you can look it up, but there is a conspiracy that it is Justin. It's his way of calling out Hollywood's sexual predators. And the food is to symbolize
consumption or,
That's right.
or
That's right.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps talking about it because if you look at Justin Bieber now,
oh, I know.
I know.
Yeah.
you know,
Didn't also Jamie Foxx say that he was abused?
He did?
Yeah.
No, he said that
he
he was
say
not.
he was abused.
No, he didn't. He said he saw it.
But
he said that he was like invited. He did go to some of these parties, but he left. That's what he says.
Okay. For some
Remember
reason,
that?
I
Remember
thought he
that
said
show,
it.
that stand up that we were just watching, like recently?
super emotional. You know, he almost died.
I know.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And
But
if you guys
tell
should
me-
watch that special.
Tell me if
because-
I'm wrong, but didn't somebody give him like an Advil or something that he thought was an Advil? And then he took it and then he blacked out for like 10 days. And that's when he was almost died? Or
No,
how
I
did
think that was
work?
one of the rumors. So if you watch the
Yeah.
stand up,
Okay.
he had a stroke and he just
Okay.
was quote unquote hiding, from everybody, and that's why the rumors started like, okay, was there a double? Did he did somebody drug him? Did they kill him, etc.? But he talks about it in there. He basically
Just
had a stroke. And he didn't want to get seen, and he was going through his thing of like rehabbing and stuff like that. So, but in there, he does talk about like right away. He actually addresses it in the beginning, and he talks about Diddy and how he's like, he tried to get me, but I left. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take his word.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Right? Or is that naive?
100%. No, I'll take his word.
You'll take his word? All right. I'll take his
I
word.
mean, have you seen the interviews too with Cat Williams?
I
where
was
he
just
says,
gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Williams.
he's like, I do not go to a Diddy party.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah,
the thing.
Yeah.
Cat Williams
that
is
virgin
crazy.
hole that he talked about.
Yes,
Cat
he's got a
Williams
virgin
is
hole.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
But this is a little off subject. Do you know the girl, the actress that was in Hustle and Flow? And she was also in 8 Mile.
no.
God, what's
Brittany
her
Murphy?
name?
Oh, Brittany
No.
Murphy.
No.
Was it the black girl?
Oh my God, Taryn something.
No, that's the
Look
guy.
her up.
Terrence.
Guy, Terrence Howard?
No.
I'll show you a picture.
Taryn Manning did an interview. Or
She's
she,
a
Oh, I know
She's
who you're
also
talking
a
about.
little bit
I know who you're
crazy.
talking about.
She's a little bit
yeah,
crazy,
she's a little
but
bit
then
crazy.
I'm
She
like,
has
But I
cornrows.
believe
Yeah.
what she
but then I'm
says.
like, is she? You can look it up. She talks about how she's been offered this elixir, this
Yeah.
drink
I know.
from Hollywood several times. And of course they're portraying her like she's crazy. And like the interviewer's kind of like, well, what's the drink? And she's like, I don't even know if it's a drink, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's this offer that you're given that, hey, you do this, drink this, and you will have unlimited fame.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
But we own you. Weird. Right. Cat Williams sort of talks about the same.
Can't
Like
be
they've
real.
offered him.
What
He's like,
could it
So
be,
weird.
though?
down millions of
Is
dollars.
it just a line though to get them drugged up and then
It could be
assault
that.
and then
Get them drugged
then-
up. They
and then
have
rape
cameras
them?
set up, and then you're fucking
then
blackmail
sleep with
forever,
them?
man.
Maybe it's just them recruiting Hollywood to be part of their thing, but it's like once you drink the whatever, right? Okay,
Yeah.
you're included. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna be famous. You're gonna be rich, but we've got you now.
Yeah.
Like we own you. You can't go against us. I don't know.
Weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay.
I mean, is it just a roofie? Do you know what I mean?
No, it was
it
was like something else.
something else.
It was because it was
What are
like
you talking
laced with like.
Cass, are you talking about Cassie specifically?
Or
no, I was
even-
talking about the
even
P Diddy shit,
Yeah.
like what he
It
had.
was
Even-
ecstasy, GHB, cocaine. It was.
Oh,
she talks
okay.
about it.
Like a
Yeah.
whole cocktail.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so again, 120 lawsuits came forward. 25 of those involved minors. There were a couple that were as young as 9.
Fuck
That is disgusting. That makes me think about my daughter, honestly. So that's just like
Yeah.
enrages me even more.
Dude, 9 is like
Disgusting.
That's disgusting.
your child. Like, I mean, obviously your child, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm like stumbling on the words there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to
That's
even.
horrible.
Yeah. Multiple accusers alleged that they were offered hush money and that Diddy's team had used PIs to intimidate them and then force them into hush money settlements and NDAs. Yeah. Court filings also revealed that some victims had medical reports, ER visits, and therapist notes that corroborated their accounts. And this would hold up in court.
How does that work? Because like when you go to the therapist, isn't that like some confidentiality patient?
I think if you're a patient, you say that they can disclose it.
Okay. Yeah, if you wanted to release it. Like for example, if you got checked into, let's say the incident happened in 2010, you got checked into a hospital and they did a rape kit.
Yep.
Like a whatever they're called.
Yeah, they basically test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a receipt. I know that sounds bad, but like a
record of it.
A record of that could be used as evidence to corroborate your claim of something happening in 2010.
Sure. Well, Leanne probably knows this better than I do, but if there is something like you go in to do a rape kit, I don't think that you even need to give permission. Like, isn't the hospital obligated to report the crime?
Also, just as a pause, can we get some credentials here?
Leanne.
So just so you know, Leanne.
Leanne is RN BSN.
So
not a rape kit person.
Not a rape kit person, but she isn't.
You also don't work in the ER.
She's a registered nurse. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer to that.
Or is it more like they have to ask the patient, like
I don't know the answer, but just from movies that I've seen.
Yes, I watched a lot of Law and Order, and the detectives are always there.
From what I saw, like the victims were like, no, I don't want to. Like they did the kit, but they didn't want to report it. Exactly.
They would have to mandatorily report if it was a child, I think.
Okay.
Oh, true.
So under 18.
Correct. But that then calls in law enforcement, and if the parents don't want to press charges, then I don't know.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Or their guardian, or whoever they're
saying is their guardian. Because I have heard stories of nurses where, like, let's say someone's brought in on a drunk driving charge, but they are brought to the hospital first because they're having a medical emergency. I have heard stories where, like, the nurse's first obligation is to the patient.
Sure.
And so they have had incidents with law enforcement where law enforcement wanted to draw their blood for blood alcohol, and they will have to stand up for the patient and say, no.
Get out of the room.
Like, you can't. You can't just come in and unwilling, like if the patient's not willing, take their blood. It would be different if you got pulled over and the cops was like, hey, you have to blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can still say no.
You can say no and then you're going to be arrested, which probably happens in that instance too. Once their medical emergency is done, they're going to be arrested, but they don't have their proof.
Exactly.
Because now it's
that's why you
whatever.
Say no.
like Jorge has experience in this or something. Like, say no, don't blow. Like,
say no. Oh, that's a new slogan.
Attorney Jorge is
say no, don't blow.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Well, we're also on this in this regard. We're talking about, is there a record of that? There's always a record, right?
There's a record, always, though, for sure.
There's a record, and then they can use that later on as evidence.
Correct.
But what if they're underage?
I still think then the parents would have to consent, or the person if they're of age now. But like, just to give an example, think about like the abused wife, right? They go to the ER. There's record.
Yeah.
Katie has bruising all over her body.
Yeah.
But if the cops come and she says, I don't want to press charges against my husband, there's still a record, but they can't force her to press charges.
Yeah, gotcha. Right. And then maybe a decade later, though, they could pull that because then they're overage.
Correct. Or even as an adult.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. So anyway, so these ER visits and therapist notes then corroborated their allegations, right? So it is supporting evidence, right? In March 25th, 2024, things escalated. The Department of Homeland Security raided Diddy's properties in LA, Miami, and New York.
Oh, that day was
you remember
so
that?
good for me. I was like, oh, yeah.
Why Homeland Security, you may ask? Because allegations involved cross-state trafficking and possible foreign minors.
Insane. Yeah.
So then it brought in Homeland Security.
Insane.
Yeah. triggering the federal jurisdiction. So then you bring in, FBI and that sort of thing. During the raids, agents seized large quantities of ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, 3 illegally modified AR-15 rifles, computers, phones, hard drives, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
That dang baby oil.
He loves that baby oil.
Baby oil.
That was the biggest.
That hit the media.
Like, what are you doing with 1,000 bottles?
Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. I tried to figure out why would this be logical?
A pool?
Okay, so say you were
That's
just
what I'm thinking. Is
or say you just had parties every
like
month.
Wrestling.
Yeah,
exactly.
Say you had parties every month though.
And you went through like 100 bottles.
And you were just like, you know what? You tell your assistant, just go to Costco.
Either that or you.
Do you know what I mean? No, I mean I was trying to figure out
like Johnson and Johnson, and they're like, we'll give you if you buy
exactly
this many,
sponsorship.
They get tired of going to Costco every weekend.
We'll give you a bottle for 10 cents per bottle or something.
So he's like, all right, give me.
Clearly, he needs you're so rich. Like, what are you doing?
I know.
Send your assistant to get more when you need it. Why do you have that much?
But not to get morbid, but why do you need it?
Well,
No, but is there that much sex going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Must apparently.
No, I mean just saying how do you need that much?
That's that much sex.
Like, was he covering himself in baby oil? I know we've all thought about
It's
this.
not just
right?
him.
I think it's the wrestling thing. They probably
they must have
filled up some
like
tub.
kiddie pools and then girls just get in and
Maybe
wrestle.
he was just a sicko and he was like, pouring the baby oil,
just bathe in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just him, obviously, right?
It wasn't him, but when we get into the Cassie allegation.
No, and also a lot of these reports are just him in the fucking corner.
Just jerking off and fucking videotaping
so he's not,
it.
You know what I mean?
So I hope this comes up.
Oh, no, I know.
But I've heard why.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Tell us.
I've heard why is because there's been testimony during the trial that he has a baby dick.
I was hoping we would touch on the baby dick.
He has a tiny, tiny little
Probably
wiener.
does.
Really? I hadn't heard about this.
Yes.
And
he prefers to watch and use
his tweezers.
No, it's
his
not.
little
It can't be that
tweezers
small.
to jerk off.
I'm sure it's not that small, but it could be, it could be like a 2-incher. I don't know.
I've heard it's like a little tiny chode.
Little Tic Tac.
Mm-hmm. Little Bic lighter, as Taylor likes to call it.
Big later. Oh, Taylor.
Okay.
But still.
But
what are you
still,
using a bottle on your baby wiener? Like
that would
dipping it in?
Yeah,
that would lend to the fact that he doesn't need that many.
That's true. That's very true.
It's got to be something like what's that movie? The Will Ferrell movie when they do like the Jello wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Old
had
school.
like pools.
Old school.
Yeah, of
Old
baby
school.
oil, and he threw people in the baby oil, and
Yeah.
Likes to pour it on everybody. Or
Sources close to the investigation say that coded calendar invites for these events were recovered using euphemisms like crew play or special night out.
I believe that.
The scope, this is eerily similar to the Epstein thing, by the way,
Yeah.
where he would have code names on his little
Or
the
That's true. I
voicemails.
had forgotten about that.
Remember the
That's true.
voicemail receipts or not? They're not receipts, but remember back in the day you didn't have cell phones and you would leave
or
a little
Pizzagate.
or
Yeah,
pizza.
They
Gate.
had
They
the
had
code.
pizza parties.
They were ordering
yeah.
a large cheese, which was a code for 10-year-old male. Or I know, disgusting. You got to look into Pizzagate.
We did an episode on Pizzagate. We got to
We
do an
did. We gotta do
update
another
though,
one.
because I don't think we
We're
got that
Yeah.
deep into it.
Dark.
I know.
Pizzagate. Dark. Disgusting.
So apparently it was so gnarly that even federal agents were shocked. And on September 16th, Combs was then arrested in Manhattan, and he was indicted with 17 pages of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation of prostitution.
Remind me what racketeering is, because I had to look it up, and I can't remember what racketeering is.
So, because remember, he's bringing a bunch of also other celebrities in that he represents.
Yeah.
So racketeering is defined broadly under the RICO Act, which is the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act from 1970. to include a pattern of illegal activities such as extortion, bribery, fraud, money laundering, drug trafficking, murder for hire, illegal gambling,
Just fucking all
kidnapping,
the things.
obstruction of justice.
It kind of, I guess it encompasses like every illegal activity that's,
Basically.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
But it's for kind of like what's behind it is for profiting, right?
Yes, you have to profit.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Right. So like, let's say, you know, he represents some artist and then he's like, he's got them on video and then he's got them doing what he wants to do because he's blackmailing them with the video.
Well, and apparently that's exactly what he did.
Well, remember, he's a producer. Like he did have all these people under him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so in simple terms, racketeering is when someone runs or is part of a business that regularly commits crimes to make money.
Okay.
There you go. Simple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty blanket, like a wide net.
Yeah.
For such a big word.
Yeah.
True.
I love it. So prosecutors alleged a 2-decade-long criminal enterprise using drugs, coercion, and intimidation to control victims. Combs pled not guilty. His lawyers called the case racially motivated,
Oh, for God's sake.
insisting the encounters were consensual all around.
Oh my God.
How can you be
120 girls
You cannot
cannot.
consent when
Not
you're
just-
9 years old.
Exactly.
Sorry.
You also
That's
cannot
exactly
consent
right.
When you're on ketamine and GHB and come on.
No.
Bail was denied multiple times.
Good.
Judges cited Combs as a flight risk and a danger to the community. He was remanded to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Since then, Combs' legal team has released statements claiming he's enduring inhumane conditions in prison.
Oh, poor thing.
Leaked jailhouse letters from Combs describe horrific treatment and allege that he's being targeted in jail.
Well, of course he is.
Not just letters, but they leaked
Yeah.
some of the conversations that he's had with his son, I think it was in particular. And
Yeah.
he's using like code words.
Oh, yeah. And then didn't he do some things like, you need to destroy the pizza?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's like, you got to get rid of all the pizza boxes that are left.
Okay, so like
Whatever.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I know. And obviously, he even knows about the fucking Pizzagate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come up with a different code
I
name,
know,
man.
what an idiot.
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if
say-
all that is intertwined.
I know.
You think?
The
I mean, in
deeper
some
I go
way-
down the Hollywood hole, it's so hard to believe, but then is it? Like these
You know
people
what's-
have so much money and power.
I know.
Do you start to get delusions of like
Yeah.
that you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like you
like
can't.
you can't be touched.
Like,
You're
yeah.
untouchable.
Yeah.
Everybody should just do
And
what
then
you want.
how can you not be conspiratorial about it?
Yeah, you cannot.
Right?
100%. Yeah.
Like, how can you not?
Right.
Because here's
things that
something
have
that,
come out.
here's the thing that's going to blow your mind too. This entire time is the West Coast.
Right.
The entire time that this is happening on the East Coast is Epstein.
Right.
The same time.
Yeah.
This is happening at the same time.
It all has. I mean, you can't have the same code words and not have
Yes.
some sort of connection. Also,
Yeah.
there's,
Crazy.
There's the elite. There's only so many elites.
Right.
So for them all to be doing the same things, they all have to be doing it together, or like
There's gotta be a
knowing-
connection,
There's
right?
got to be connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Epstein facilitated at some parties, but then you could still go to Diddy's if you were in Miami, or like,
know, right?
you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be different.
So they had their own little network. So
Yeah.
once you leave the island, you can go to Diddy's house.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
And then we won't even say, oh, well, yeah. So the trial begins May 5th, 2025 in United States versus Sean Combs, held in New York's Southern District Court. Jury selection was meticulous. A panel of 12 jurors, 6 alternates, carefully vetted for biases around hip hop, celebrity, race, and sexual violence. Opening statements, prosecutors painted Combs as a predator who used his
Fact.
fame to shield predatory behavior. Defense claimed that
Fact.
the evidence is thin. So this is the defense saying it was thin and it was revenge and racial targeting.
No, false.
Thin?
False.
And are you kidding?
So far, key evidence presented includes the following. the security footage from the hotel assault.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's solid.
Come
That's
on.
video.
That's
Yeah.
not very thin to me.
Drug test results from the raid. So they raided everybody and they did drug tests on the people when they raided.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know what came out of that.
Witness testimony from former Bad Boy staff and leaked digital communications hinting at hush money. Yeah. Court filings allege that Combs used known industry fixers in the past, figures who were cleaners or would
What do you
clean
mean by
up,
quote unquote cleaners? Because you're doing air quotes.
like they're
Clean up the shit.
yeah. You ever see like John
Oh, yeah,
Wick?
that's right.
You ever see John Wick and
Yeah.
they call in the
They'll go in and get rid of all the evidence.
yeah or
Okay.
Pulp Fiction? Who was the wolf? Remember the wolf?
Oh yeah.
Call in the wolf and
Those things are real.
oh
Like,
yeah,
those
for sure.
cleaners, That's a real.
For sure,
That's
that's
a
a
real
thing. That's a
profession.
thing.
It's a real
Yeah.
thing.
I might want to get into that.
Okay, and then there were some witnesses in the testimony, and I'm going to read some of it, and this is the very graphic part. Yeah. Now we went over what Cassie had said. She described events as freak-offs, where they alleged drug-fueled, days-long sexual performances involving coerced women and male prostitutes. Ventura testified that she was forced to participate in the encounters, which Combs orchestrated and directed, sometimes under threat of blackmail. She stated she felt trapped due to fear and love for Diddy, despite hating the events. A male prostitute named Jorge, his nickname was the Punisher. Combs was disguised in traditional Muslim women's clothing, including a face covering, while instructing people to do sexual acts, including Casey, but they didn't know it was him because he had the disguise on.
What a psycho.
Crazy. Also, I'm sorry, but doesn't this all sound exhausting?
Yeah.
Like to like orchestrate this for days to just like
But when
make people
you're-
have sex.
Yeah,
I feel
when
like
you're
it's
so
like-
rich and
You got
so
nothing to
sick in the
do.
head.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Celebrity stylist Deontay Nash. So Deontay Nash testified that he witnessed Combs beating Ventura until her head was bleeding and threatened to leak the sex tapes of her on the internet and to send them to her parents.
Which is alarming.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot, just as a heads up, but another former assistant testifying under the pseudonym Mia described Combs as an abusive boss who sexually assaulted her multiple times, including an incident where he allegedly climbed into her bed, raped her, and she testified that she had to clean the hotel rooms after the freak-offs, describing them covered in baby oil, candle wax, and sometimes blood left behind in the hotels.
Oh,
And like, why would she make this up?
yeah.
What's the motive?
Years ago, I remember there was a leaked video of him like talking to his staff, speaking of like working for him and shit. And he was like going off like a psycho, just like yelling at them. And it was like, I don't remember what it was about, but it was just like, I remember watching that and I'm like, what the fuck? What a psycho.
I
Like, why
know.
would you work for him?
Yeah.
Rapper Kid Cudi testified that Combs broke into his home and that his Porsche was destroyed with a Molotov cocktail. After Diddy learned of Cudi's relationship with Ventura, Cudi also alleged that Combs threatened him during a meeting, though Combs denied involvement.
The cocktail that's like the
That
shit
was like-
that you throw that
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like a
It's like-
Molotov
yeah, it's like a alcohol. It's like a bottle of alcohol essentially, and then a rag and you know.
just to burn it up.
Good to know.
Yeah.
In case we have to do that.
Jesus. I mean, this is there's
Dark
a
shit.
I heard
go for you.
when I heard Cassie testified, and this is very graphic and very disgusting, just warning, that he would make these male prostitutes multiple, quote unquote, finish on her. And then she would have to go and put it on him.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Komm du noch?
If you've had that sound from Babbel before, I bet you do. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. With quick 10-minute lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. With over 16 million subscriptions sold and a 20-day money-back guarantee, just start speaking another language with Babbel. Right now, up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/Spotify podcast. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify podcast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Like a
That's so
like
nasty.
Like their
a lotion.
like
Their
their
semen?
semen.
Yeah, but like, why put it on him? What do you?
I don't know.
Because he's a fucking psycho.
He likes
Disgusting.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for adding that one.
I just remember when I heard it, I was
know.
like, you can't even believe it.
I
But
know.
why would someone make that up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's so gross. You wouldn't even make that up.
Yeah.
I didn't know the part of like that he would dress up in like this Muslim dress or whatever.
And there's all these. I mean, these are just
Weirdo.
stories that have
I
come
know.
out, and anyways. So outside the courtroom, the reaction has been polarizing. The Me Too movement has strongly supported the accusers, calling this a watershed moment for
women.
standing up against this culture in Hollywood. Many celebrities, though, have distanced themselves, especially the ones that attended. Some have even scrubbed their social media to remove themselves from being at those parties, because at a time it was like cool to be like, hey, I went to a Diddy
went to the
white party.
I remember the white party was such a big deal.
Yeah. So, and then they started to kind of like scrub it, etc. Some fans even speculate that Combs might take a plea deal to avoid life in prison, but we don't really know what's going to happen. As of today, here's where things stand. The trial is still in early weeks. More accusers are expected to testify in the coming days. The judge is enforcing a June 20th discovery deadline for the remaining evidence. So what does that mean?
And then after that, they get into the verdicts.
Yeah. So, and Katie can help us on this, but discovery deadline, kind of like help, like, so it's basically, that is when the prosecution has
They have to. So the prosecution now has a deadline. This is the end of your side of the case.
Mm-hmm.
Now the defendant's side has their turn.
Okay.
To submit their side.
Rebuttal,
right?
or I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you rebuttal that?
Well, I mean,
well, they're gonna come back.
You
and
know
say,
what they're
like,
gonna say? It's all. I already know what they're gonna say. It's all. They're just like
consented.
orgies.
Yeah. But
They like getting down.
And they're gonna say that people
They're all
wanted to go
adults.
there because it was cool because of the celebrityness and all that. And
do we think he's like his reputation is ruined no matter what, though?
Totally,
100%.
Absolutely.
Even people that are related to him, like Justin's reputation, like you know, he's branded as like he's been through the ringer or whatever with this guy. Yeah.
Have you seen the
Justin
videos
Bieber.
though that have come out now of Bieber when he was younger with Diddy?
Oh yeah,
And you can
in
certainly
the car.
see how
I remember there was
he
some
was-
like a car thing. Yeah.
Pierce Morgan actually just interviewed Suge Knight from prison
Crazy.
and asked his opinion about the Diddy trial.
Yeah.
And Suge basically said that all the defense has to do is put Diddy on the stand, and all Diddy has to do is basically say, look, I'm bi. Like, I'm bisexual. I like men and women.
Yeah.
So, like, and everything was consensual. And that Suge's opinion is that if he says that, he will be acquitted. I don't know why Suge would ever be
I'm terrified
helping
of Suge.
him.
You know I'm scared of Suge.
I know.
I'm
Eric
scared of
is
Suge.
still hiding from
I'm
Suge.
super scared
Eric's
of
like,
Suge.
I don't want my name and Suge together.
No.
I'm terrified of the man.
question.
You guys have heard the other episodes. You know that Eric is still hiding from Suge.
I have a question. Oh my God. What
Yeah.
if he mentions your name?
Dude.
Oof, we're done. We're moving.
Yeah.
And we're blowing up. This podcast is blowing up.
Yeah.
Do we think or do we know? Because I don't. A lot of these celebrities, do we think they'll be called to trial? Like, let's say you were
Who are there?
Yeah.
So for the defense,
Jennifer Lopez. You're
I
going to
wouldn't-
tell me.
Dude,
so I wouldn't
she
be
had-
surprised for the defense if there were celebrities called to say, what did you observe?
Right. What did you see? What did you not see?
Yeah.
But maybe that's why it's private.
Yeah.
Like the trial is
I
not being
think that's
filmed
BS,
because
though, but why?
they know
Well-
it's a high profile. No, like, okay, so let us just say, for example, you were hot on the scene. You were a singer, R&B. You went to a Diddy party.
Right.
Let's say you didn't do anything. You just left at like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
You
we
literally
already know
didn't
that
see-
J-Lo dated Diddy for how many years?
No, I know, no, but just give that as an example.
Yeah.
And say you were a high profile person and you left. You did nothing.
Yeah.
So if you got called in front of the cameras as a witness,
Yeah.
your reputation would be harmed.
But your reputation's already harmed. We know who was there.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
No, it's not really harm because like some people were there and then again they left early.
Ashton was there. Is
You don't
Ashton's
know.
reputation harmed?
I mean, I think a little. I think people are
harm for
wondering.
Leanne.
To be honest, I think if, and I can't. Obviously, I'm not famous. Maybe I'd feel different. But it's like, if, like, the people want to know.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's just like, are you guilty or not? Did you know about it? And if you did, if it was us,
Yeah.
the trial would probably be public and everyone would know. So why
True.
should celebrities be protected? If you did something wrong,
Mm.
you did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think when
I see.
I think they when in terms of it being televised or not, it's really so like there's certain jurisdictions that's not even allowed.
Like, why was Johnny Depp allowed?
Was it in New York?
It was in New York, I think.
Okay, it's up to the jurisdiction, and then
Yeah.
also it's up to the judge.
To the judge.
So the judge can say they can give reasons why.
Yeah, but
they think it's too much of a media circus.
No,
But
if you're talking
OJ
about
was LA.
minors, and if you're talking about victims,
Yes. Right,
I
exactly.
fully support them not having
Yeah.
to be televised.
If it's
But-
just Johnny Depp
But-
and Amber Heard, then
Right.
But
That's
O-
probably
why
what
not?
it is. Is
but
the whole
O-
minor thing.
But OJ was LA.
OJ was LA and he was televised.
Yeah,
He
but there's no
probably
minors.
Full television.
There's no
yes,
minors.
but it was a woman's cut her throat.
I know, but
Yeah.
but
And the
I'm
family
saying
and
like,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
but
Yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying though. Like
They have reasons
each court,
why.
each
You wanna
judge
know-
gets to decide.
Yes.
Actually,
Right.
the judge decide.
and they have their reasons why they don't want it televised, and I would imagine it's because it's so graphic.
Yeah,
Like it's disgusting shit that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
But
they
here's
don't
my thing.
want it.
Diddy apparently had his children
in
in the
courtroom.
courtroom when Cassie was saying all of this. Like,
Yeah, they've been there every
what
single day.
kind of person are you that you would want your children there? Just
I don't
Yeah.
know. It almost
Yeah.
seems like
it's weird.
some
okay?
people though. I
maybe
believe
the son was in on it.
I mean, I
Hmm.
don't know that he was in on it, but
Saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he was having his kid go and like cover up evidence.
right, he probably knows.
Then he probably
So-
knows a lot.
So the defense apparently is struggling. Multiple legal analysts have called their strategy extremely weak. He remains incarcerated. The bail motions continue to happen, but they continue to get denied for bail.
As they
So he's
should.
still there. Some people say the trial isn't just about one man, but it's about a broader reckoning of the
And I
Hollywood
fully believe that.
Yeah.
culture
I agree
and
with that.
And is he going to pull other people in?
so far he hasn't.
Well, we're still in the
Yes.
prosecution side of things.
That's right.
They haven't called their witnesses yet. The defense has not called any witnesses yet.
Correct.
So who knows what their
Yeah.
side of things are going to be, or how they're going to
Yeah.
defend this
so
case.
June 20th is that date
Wow.
of the
The
end
deadline.
of discovery.
And here's
Yeah.
a thought. If he gets off, no, like
Yeah.
for real. Because I'm sure it was terrifying for Cassie to go in and do this, right? And if he gets off and something happens to her,
Oh yeah.
are we really going to write that off?
Yeah.
Like,
No, of course not. It's
Yeah.
like Epstein. He somehow
Dude, I know.
magically took his own life.
Remember Virginia Giuffre
yeah.
and ending her life like a month ago?
Yeah. Ending her life.
Ending her
Quote
life.
unquote.
Yeah.
But
Everybody
also
ends their life in Hollywood.
Also, I don't mean to like I don't know each of these cases, but Harvey Weinstein was
Oh, yeah.
acquitted.
Yeah, he was.
Kevin Spacey was acquitted.
Yeah.
Rough one for me.
He settled out of court. Here's the thing,
They
though,
all
Oh,
settled.
yeah.
is
Yeah.
that these were civil cases.
It's different.
It's
Yeah.
different. They're not criminal.
Okay.
So he basically gave a bunch of money
Yeah.
to these people.
I think
for hushing away.
I think Spacey was acquitted. By the way.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. I think you're right
Lack
about
of
Weinstein.
evidence. Like
Yeah.
you can't go a decade of like.
Yeah. 2 decades. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the evidence?
Mhm.
You know, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sucks
Unfortunately,
because-
I think Diddy's going to be acquitted.
I really hope you're
You
wrong.
think so?
I really
think
hope you're
so.
wrong because I think a lot of
We have him
people are
on
in
video
trouble.
of him hitting a woman.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
I
If
think
he does get charged, he'll get charged for that.
Assault.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is nothing
And
compared
drugs.
to what the
They
fuck
found
he's
the
doing.
drugs. How can you not be?
But also, we still haven't.
But that doesn't mean that he
heard-
trafficked drugs, he sold drugs, he what? Like they're not going to get him for
Fucking
that.
possession.
Well,
And even
I
then, if
would
it's that, it's
say-
going to be small.
I would think that like the pedophilia thing is going to come into play. We haven't heard anything about that. Like,
Yeah.
there's been no testimony from the kids yet that this was done to,
Yeah.
and there's
Maybe
and then
there has,
there's-
and we haven't known about it because they are underage. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know,
I
but
don't
like
know
That's
there,
true.
I
That's
think
a good
there's
point. Is that
many
public?
aspects
Right.
that haven't.
Right. So again, this is where we are now, which is that on June 20th, discovery is the deadline for the evidence. Yeah. So then
And all we have to go on as far as the trial is like some shitty images. Have you seen
Ah,
them?
the drawings. It's like
God.
Crayola
Yes, so
crayons
bad.
and shit.
Did he look so weird in those
Mhm.
drawings?
So
Oh, and there's
I did see. So there's this girl that I follow, and she's been at the trial every day,
Oh, really?
and she said that
What's her handle?
Yeah, give it a shout out.
Emily knows everything.
I like that.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Yeah, shout out to Emily. She says that like the drawings are pretty close to actually what he looks like.
Okay.
She said that he looks like shit.
Okay.
His hair is turned gray.
He stopped dyeing it.
Guilt.
Yeah, he
Guilt,
stopped dyeing
gray
it.
guilt.
Yeah, man.
He like
I like the
at
salt
least
pepper
the
beards
first,
though.
The first couple days,
Thank you, Eric.
I don't remember. At least the first couple days of the trial, he was wearing the exact same outfit every day, like a gray.
I mean, he's in
turtleneck.
prison.
Suit.
I
He's
mean,
in prison.
But you can have access, like you literally
You do?
get. Yeah, you
Clothing
get
delivered,
delivered.
yeah.
Oh.
Like a new.
He's probably
outfit.
trying to get
I don't
sympathy.
know why.
Honestly, this is
Tom
like, this is
Ford
like
fucking suit.
This
Yeah.
is better than like me. Like you get shit delivered to you.
Like your lawyer, literally, you're given an
Nice.
outfit by your
Yeah.
lawyer.
I don't even get like
I
dry
know,
cleaning
right?
for my wife.
I know.
But yeah, apparently those are pretty accurate, and he looks like shit.
Okay.
Listen, to me, Diddy always looked crazy in the eyes.
Yeah.
He
For
did
sure.
like
Crazy.
dead
eyes.
Nah,
eyes.
you're saying that.
Dead.
now.
You're saying
I
it
never
later.
liked him. You know, I always
Oh.
thought he was a shitty rapper.
I never.
I
liked it
agree.
either.
I agree. He's
No,
not
yeah.
like that. Also, when he did those reality shows, remember when he did those? Like,
Which ones?
I don't know. Like he was, like he was like the producer,
Yeah.
and like people would come
I don't
in and
remember this.
no,
Yeah, Aubrey O'Day, right?
something like that.
Oh yeah, I was
She's
wondering
come out.
if she was gonna say
Yeah.
if she was gonna testify
I know.
as to anything. Yeah.
Because she's what she was involved in the who was the other person that took her down? Oh, she made a song about him.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Who was that?
Gosh, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
circle back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, Google that.
Don't forget, we have a part 2 coming,
That's right.
but it's gonna be later. So the trial is expected to run through July. So by the end of July, this should be a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
If convicted, life in prison for racketeering, 15 years for sex trafficking, up to 10 years for transportation.
It's kind of crazy, like how little punishment they get for sex trafficking.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Why?
Well, you know, like one of the things that Anyway, like they take care of them in prison. Fucking not necessarily human trafficking, but like when there's little kids involved.
Yeah, but
he's not gonna make it more than a year.
In max security.
He's not gonna make it.
No, he's gonna be minimum security. Come on, Diddy.
Every celebrity gets max security.
It's true.
Or he'll be crazy. That's what he'll end up saying, that he's insane.
That's right.
Or he'll be in one of those cush federal prisons.
Right.
And he gets to play tennis all day.
And if he starts talking, he will miraculously off himself in max security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the FBI agent will come out and say, it was no problems. No problems. Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Okay, well, that's what's happening. That's the latest. Are there any conspiracies that you think are gonna come of this, or is this just gonna be a cut and dry? It's all Diddy. Diddy is the guy. There's nobody else involved.
No.
Because don't forget the definition of conspiracy: 2 or more
That's right.
individuals conspiring to commit a crime.
100%. Okay. It has to be a conspiracy.
It has to be based on the definition.
He did not do this, and no one else was involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I saying like celebrities were involved? I don't know, but probably.
But
here's kind of what I think is that the FBI had to create a case that that was enough evidence to prosecute him without involving all of these other elite individuals. So I think that there is a major conspiracy. I think that the FBI waited so long because they had to come up with all of this evidence without involving, implicating any of these other individuals.
But it's like Epstein. Like, how is there not one person? It's just Epstein.
Well, it's also Epstein and Ghislaine, which
that's right.
You know, sucks for her. Like, yeah, she facilitated a lot of things, but she's the one that's getting the shit.
We haven't
out of
heard
the stick.
shit from her.
Have we heard shit
Nothing.
from her?
Nothing.
And where did that
say
go?
One word, probably because she knows that she'll get fucking murdered like Epstein.
True. Very true.
Well, did you see the interview from Dan Bongingo?
No.
Bongingo. So, okay. So, Kesh, the director of the FBI, and the deputy director, Dan, I always say his name wrong, Dan Bongingo, whatever. Yeah, that's
Bongingo.
They came out literally today. Go onto our Instagram and see the interview. They said Epstein killed himself.
I know, and they say that we have it on video.
It's on video that nobody else was. They don't have it on video that he killed himself.
What did he kill himself with?
The
sheets.
sheets.
With the sheets.
Why do you have a sheet?
Well, hold on. Don't.
Again, here's a nurse.
I know. Well, he had a sheet because he was going to bed. You have sheets when you go to bed.
You don't have sheets, though, when you're on suicide watch.
That's right.
You don't have anything.
But why is the FBI, the director of the FBI and the deputy director, who was Dan, was not just an FBI agent. He was a podcaster like us. I mean, way bigger than us. Yeah. But he was a freedom fighter. It was like what's that guy? Alex Jones.
Yeah.
It's like Alex Jones being hired to run the CIA.
Right.
And then he gets taken to the CIA. And now he's the head of it, or he's the deputy director of the FBI. And he says in the video, go to our Instagram, he says he killed himself.
Okay.
Like they have video footage of him committing suicide.
Not of him committing suicide, but of him being alone in a cell the entire time. So there's no way that, the evidence points to it.
Okay, then somebody gave him something to off himself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
We're on this tangent because
and I'm
it's
sorry, but I don't love you guys, you conspiracy podcasters. I don't find that to be some sort of like thing that would make me believe you just
like
because,
a badge.
Yeah, like I don't okay, some podcaster guy says that he killed himself just because this guy happened to have a conspiracy podcast and he believes all conspiracies. Who knows what they've told him or what he's been shown.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
If he did kill himself, then that was a severe
negligence.
Because they
fell asleep. One of the guys fell. Remember that whole episode? Yeah.
The other thing
you
about
knew
it,
how high profile this was.
They were shopping for furniture on the.
The other thing about it too, and like,
Amazon.
correct me if I'm wrong, but in the photo of Epstein's cell, it looked like he had like 20 sheets.
Yeah, he had like
tied
extra.
together.
And
He's
he
like,
was
"Can I
on
get-
suicide
Can I
watch.
get like 4 or 5 sheets?
Was he
A
on
little
suicide
extra?"
watch?
Yeah, he was.
You don't
Yeah.
have a sheet. Come on,
Yeah.
Look, he had. What's with all the sheets?
That's complete. And why, honestly, why would there not be someone with eyes on him 24?
Well, there technically was.
But-
you guys got to
But
go
they
listen
were-
to that.
I know, we gotta
other
go listen. We did 5 hours.
I know, seriously.
We did 5 hours.
True.
But this all goes back to Diddy. So Diddy hasn't killed himself.
Diddy hasn't killed himself.
I don't think he's ever going to kill himself. I
No?
do think that if he does get sentenced and goes to prison, I think he's going to get killed.
Oh, in Gen Pop?
Yeah, at some point. I think he will.
Be in Gen Pop. He will not be in Gen Pop.
Yeah, he won't.
Diddy. No, he won't.
He won't be in Gen
He
Pop.
won't be in Gen
He won't be in
He's
Gen
gonna-
Pop.
no,
But
he's gonna be in some nice
you want to
federal
hear
prison.
Okay, here's my
And if he kills himself, or even if he gets killed, to be quite honest, it'll probably be because other people want to cover shit up.
Well, here's the thing. I don't even think that we're gonna get. There's gonna be no reveal, in my opinion, from
Yeah.
this trial. There's
No,
gonna be
there's
no
not.
reveal of some
No reveal.
like.
I agree.
No, same with
agree
like
that.
Epstein. It's
I
like
could agree
There's
with
gonna
that.
be no reveal.
when we were going to get the Epstein files, and then it turns into a big dud.
Mhm.
But okay, here's my conspiracy. You want to hear?
Okay, yeah, I do.
I think that because this was going on for so long, similar to Epstein, by the way, just
Yeah.
like years, decades, this shit has been going on. He had been working with the feds. He was an informant.
Yes.
Okay. This is not going to come out, by the way.
Yeah.
Because now they
Wait,
turned
Diddy?
on him. Huh? Diddy.
Diddy or Epstein?
No, Diddy.
This is your conspiracy.
Diddy.
He
For
was an
Diddy.
informant.
That's right.
Okay.
Blackmail.
And he was feeding the feds info, right?
Okay.
But it just turned into like, look, we got way too much evidence
Heat.
now, way too much heat, and
Yeah.
like you cannot be our informant anymore.
Okay.
Right? And
What was
so
he informing them on?
I don't know, racketeering shit.
Celebs.
Like all these
celeb
celebs and like fucking
malfeasance.
I mean, he knows these rappers, he knows the hood. I don't know.
Malfeasances.
Okay, but is
Okay.
there ever a celebrity that's ever been charged? Because now I'm getting heated just thinking about this.
I know,
like,
not
how many
one.
of these people
Nobody.
get away? I mean, look at all the charges, allegations against Hillary Clinton, and nothing's been done. Nothing's been done.
Yeah. That's another episode we got to
This
do.
whole P
True.
Diddy thing came out. I was shocked just that it even.
Happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not shocked that I believe.
But is it
he
a good
did it.
thing? No, but so would you say it's progress?
Yeah.
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 Of
I
like,
think we
what do you
have
mean?
enough stories
No,
now
she's
and
saying-
enough evidence that
she's saying
shit goes down in
she's
Hollywood.
saying that she's shocked that he even
Like they charged
got
him.
charged
Yeah.
with anything.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it would be like progress.
Because he was an informant.
of-
That's why he never got charged.
I mean, I suppose you could be
Maybe.
onto something, but
Yeah. Okay, and then last question, honestly, and then because there's going to be a part 2, and
There
so
might
we'll
even be a
save
part
it.
3.
Yeah, there might, yeah.
It's true.
But who's involved in this?
I
There's
think
Diddy.
this is like an
I-
Epstein thing, and I think the list is going to go very
It's going to
deep.
get real.
I mean, you're going to.
Yeah.
Here's the thing:
Yeah.
if you were charged with something like this, and you had white parties, and I went to your parties, you're going to really tell me all these allegations came out, and we were at your parties,
And you didn't do anything.
and we didn't participate or at least see
Yeah.
anything. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
No, I think this goes deep, and that's
I do think that there is a group of celebs and elites that were participating,
Yeah.
For sure.
and again, I don't think that there's going to be a big reveal because I don't think I feel like the prosecution is specifically not asking questions about what other celebs or elite people were there. They're just trying to convict Diddy for what he has done.
Right.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, we're not gonna see other celebrities go down
No.
for this.
I don't
agree
think
with
so
you.
either.
Maybe one or two is gonna get dragged in,
And their
then
reputation will
they're gonna
get-
have to build a new case against them.
Yes.
But
And again, like
you're not gonna have like this list of celebrities that were involved.
Like Epstein?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and,
we can't
and
get the
again, like
list?
I feel like the
Exactly.
List.
The list.
with Epstein, a lot of the case was based on facilitating
Yeah.
minors
Like
for
Prince
other
Andrew and-
people. Like it wasn't just what Epstein was doing to these girls. It was a lot of it was what he was providing girls to other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And
let's take Prince Andrew, right?
Yeah, like
Yep.
he was providing girls to other people. And I think that that's different than what's happening with Diddy, where Diddy, it's just about Diddy specifically. And I think that maybe in the defense part, they might have people come in to testify that are celebrities or something like that, where they're like, we didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like, oh, it was just a white party. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there was
Yeah,
like,
like-
you know.
I thought
yeah,
like
we
people
saw
were like
Coke, and
vibing
we
on each
saw-
other. And,
yeah, and like, yeah,
I mean,
sure,
it's very easy to say that, but supposedly he has videos of all this.
Ah,
So where's the videos?
dude.
Do they
Okay.
have
so
the
again,
videos?
like the
One of-
FBI, I don't
Yes.
think the FBI is going to release that.
Yeah. One of the things that outrages me so much about Epstein is that he had cameras in every location.
He did.
Yeah, in every home,
Oh, he's not
etc.
stupid either. Yeah,
He had
was taking
cameras.
these people down.
Where are the tapes?
They're there. That's the thing. That's the conspiracy. The
Right?
conspiracy is
Somebody
they
has
cover it
the
up.
tapes.
Yes, of course they do.
So
But
the
they're
other-
not going to come
There's
out.
got to be Diddy's got. There's got to be tapes on his
there
fucking
has,
property.
but
and-
here's the thing too:
That's
is
the pizza
that
boxes.
that
yeah,
it's like
actually.
it's like when you go after drug dealers. Do you want to get the drug dealer and the people that did the drugs, or do you want to go after the kingpin
Yeah,
that has provided the drugs for everybody?
the big fish.
So are you going to go after the big fish and just take the big fish out so that hopefully you starve
Yeah,
the people under them that are trying to like take the drugs? You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
maybe that's their strategy of like, let's get rid of Diddy so that these other fuckwads can no longer have sex with kids.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
I
right.
pretty much agree with that.
Yeah,
I hope he goes down. I
Yeah.
really
I
do.
hope he gets convicted and he goes to
I think he is.
life for prison and he gets
You
his
just
little
said you
baby
thought
dick
he's not.
cut off.
No, I didn't say that. I think he's gonna. I did say he's gonna get off. I did, but I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get charged for something, but not like.
a big thing.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah, I'm not
everything.
sure.
He's,
not
gonna go
to-
down for something.
He's not going to go to prison for life.
Let
Right.
me put this out there though, really quick too, because you're right. In the beginning, I heard that they spent years compiling evidence.
Yeah,
So if that's the case, do they already have these tapes?
For sure.
They do, 100%.
So then they already know. If you have tapes, then
but if you have a tape of
Cassie having sex with a bunch of male
with
prostitutes,
no, like throw it out, like a celeb
right?
doesn't implicate anything.
It's not serving the Diddy case.
Yeah,
True.
it's just
All
them
that is
having
evidence
wild
of-
sex,
Could be
Somebody
evidence of him
blackmailing.
blackmailing and what was
Yeah.
his why.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the racketeering end
That's
of
the
things.
racketeering, right? If he did in fact keep, I mean, Cassie said that, I believe, that she was scared to do anything or whatever because he would threaten her and he would tape her and he said he was going to release
Send
the
it to the
tape.
parents and-
right.
Yeah,
So if he was
Okay.
taping other celebrities, I mean, is that a crime? I guess.
Without
think
their
it is.
consent.
Exactly, without their
yeah.
consent.
But that's a low sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't be what she's
I
saying,
don't
which
know
is
enough about sentencing, but I mean, I would think that that's true. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like
Just made me
he's
think
going to
about
go to
this other
prison for
case.
life for
Mm,
filming.
We gotta
other
do
people
another
having
episode
sex.
on Hogan. And
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
He went through some similar shit.
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
videotaped,
Filmed.
yeah, by
I
this
know.
radio host locally here, Bubba. You know Bubba
Yeah.
Love Sponge.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, there
Yeah.
was a sex
Yeah.
tape.
And he like Bubba like made him have sex with his wife and all this shit.
Oh my. Ugh. People, have we not learned our lessons by now? Like everything's taped, okay?
Everything's
You're
taped.
driving on the road.
You just gotta assume that.
Yeah. All right, there you go, guys. I hope. I mean, it's a dark topic,
And this is part one. We're gonna get into part
one.
two.
This is a live thing happening.
Exactly.
There's more information that comes out. Obviously, comment, email us. Let us know if we missed anything in the trial. We obviously love to hear it, especially when we're going to do a part 2. You're able to provide feedback.
Yes.
That then we can put into the next episode.
Yeah,
so,
we probably missed some shit on this because honestly, we haven't been like fully following it. So let us know.
Also, full disclaimer: I am not a lawyer. I just watch a lot of Law and Order. So
that's right.
If I was wrong about anything, please call me out.
Absolutely.
Also, if you guys want to help us out, go leave us a review.
Yeah, especially on Apple. We're pushing Apple right now.
Right.
So go, even if you don't listen on Apple, go to Apple, do a little subscribe, and leave us a comment, leave us a review.
Yeah,
we really
and
appreciate
we're
it.
on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok
all those-
and
all
all
those
this stuff.
good
You guys
things.
can go subscribe.
Yeah, and a little shout out to our buddy Sean out in the woods. Love you, buddy.
Love you, Sean.
But it was still cool. It was fun having the girls. On this one.
Absolutely, they're the best.
Yes.
We love you guys. We'll catch you next time on the Conspiracy Podcast.
Bye.
Nighty night.
Hey guys, it's us again. You ever heard of Patreon? Because we just started one. Exclusive content, Discord, which I'm still figuring out. But but we get to talk.
You can suggest new episodes or just let us know something that we already talked about and you want to get in on the conversation. We're there for you.
We're also coming out with shirts and other merch.
There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
Yeah, because guys, this really does help us. We do this virtually for free. So help us help you enjoy yourselves.